Today in the nerdy news you need to know about, we have EA College Football 25 and we can talk about it. The Crash Bandicoot game that never was, and can I convince Tim to get a video game cheat code tattooed on his arm?
Oh my God.
We'll have all this and more because this is Kinda Funny Games Daily. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Kinda Funny Games Daily for Monday, July 15th, 2024. I'm one of your hosts, Greg Miller, alongside Forbes 30 Under 30, a.k.a. the second best baby blues, a.k.a. the married one, at Tim Geddes.
Let Tim host. July 15th was supposed to be my birthday. You know how they have that, proposed, they're calling the shot? You know what I mean? They're like, that's the date. That's the date. For the longest time, the due date. Yeah, that whole thing. Yeah, and then that ended up not happening.
It rarely does. It's very rare.
Yeah. But I always think about July 15th when it happens. I'm like, I could have been younger.
You weren't early, but 2 weeks is early.
Yeah, no, but they changed the date along the way. You know what I mean?
Okay. So your first date was July 15th.
My first date was July 15th.
And then this kid's too big.
They're like, yeah, we got to figure this out. This thing,
something's wrong.
To go.
He's growing way too quickly.
Fun fact, both my sister and I had the same due date of February 14th, and then I came 11 days early, and then she was 3 days late.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm sure you give her a lot of shit for that. You know what I mean? Look at you. I'm Barrett. I'm all ahead of schedule. I'm on top of stuff. You a little late Linda.
Yep.
That's why they called her late Linda. That's why they called her that. That was the name they gave her, I heard. How you doing, Tim?
I'm doing fantastic. It was Pokemon Go Fest this weekend.
It was Pokemon Go Fest this weekend.
So obviously I went as hard as humanly possible. I am so tired. I was at Disneyland on Friday, 6 a.m. to, let's just call it 8 p.m. Walking. All right. Then that was not Pokemon Go Fest. That was just Disneyland. Then the next day, which was Saturday, Pokemon Go Fest day 1, Sunday day 2. Saturday, I was at downtown Disney just walking back and forth from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. nonstop.
That's a lot of walking.
And then yesterday, all down Pier 39 with Andrew Goldfarb, back and forth. And it was wild. My legs hurt, but it was worth it. My journey is going incredibly well.
Yeah?
I am 1/3 through level 48, which means I am less than 2 levels away from hitting that big 5-0, from being the very best like no one ever was. But more importantly, my collection status has just gone through the roof, Greg. There are 852 current Pokemon you can catch in Pokemon Go.
Okay.
852. I have 846.
Wow.
We are in the end game, everybody. We're at a point that the ones
you can almost wear
need,
the bomber jacket.
Almost. The ones I need, I'm just kind of waiting. Some of them are what they call mythical Pokemon, Greg. Mm-hmm. So I just need to wait for the Niantic gods to just be like, hey, they're back.
Sure.
You can get this shit. I can't even get it. There's nothing I can do.
When you hit 50, are you going to keep playing?
Yeah, I got it. But that's because they're going to keep adding. There's 1,000 plus.
But I mean, are you still carrying the thing in your pocket?
I'm still
carrying. Are you still doing it every time?
But I'm not. I don't.
I always look at you when we're out. I'm like, oh, he's really busy on an email. And then you're just catching a Pokemon.
Catching the Pokemon, man. Yeah. You got to do it. But yeah, no, I'm getting real close to it, which feels fantastic. A couple fun facts for you before we can move on here. One is I got to meet the director of the game yesterday. We were near the ferry building, which is where Niantic is.
Oh, okay.
And
was that planned, or were you just walking and the director popped out?
He's always just hanging out during all the big community days and stuff.
That's really cool.
Him and Goldfarb know each other, so
of course
that was really great meeting him.
Of course
very
fun.
And then the other thing is one of the ones that's remaining for me that I need to get is called Hawlucha. He's a little bird luchador situation.
Sure. Yeah, I like him already.
And it is exclusive to Mexico.
Oh.
Guess who's going to Mexico next month?
Oh, no, you are. You are. Is it everywhere in Mexico, or do you have to go somewhere special?
Yeah, it's what they call a regional. So there's region locked ones that only spawn in certain places. And so very excited. I like it. It feels like it's like a fun little, on one hand, it's like, all right, I got to do my honeymoon. On the other hand, it's like, I could have fucking Hawlucha.
Please tell me you told G, it was like, a lot of places. I mean, Italy is nice, but Mexico is cool. You knew the entire time it's just for Hawlucha.
It was definitely a fun reveal.
I would love that.
I would
have fucking
I'm about to get in Mexico.
That if you were just like, no, I got to go there for Hawlucha. That's the whole point of it. Yeah, that's fantastic.
Although one of the other ones that need comfy, you can only get in Hawaii. So I'm like, gee, any interest?
You'll get there.
I know you will. It's gonna be great.
Yeah. My weekend was good too. Thanks for asking.
Yeah.
Got to see you at Disney.
You did.
Of course, I was there with Ben.
That was an adventure. I'm sure we'll talk about it at some point somewhere.
Yeah, maybe the Kinda Funny podcast could be a good vehicle for that today of Ben's first trip to Disneyland, what that was like. Yeah,
because I even want to
Nothing else newsworthy happened this weekend. So
I want to hear about it because I was part of it for part of it.
Yeah,
but
you came in late in the day,
a lot
left there. Yeah.
the
pomp
sense
and the
of wonder.
circumstance.
You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
So I want all the details on that.
Sure.
I
Wait
will
to hear
say
about the
just-
poop this kid took.
What's that?
I said, wait till you hear about the poop this kid took. In
yeah.
the toilet. He's potty trained, but I mean,
Yeah.
like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Well, KF Podcast, everybody. Stay tuned.
And on top of that, Tim, it's a special day.
Yes.
I said too many props today. I had to go out and get more stuff, and I came
Yeah.
back in with the books, and you said, oh my God, it's finally happening.
It's finally happening. This is such a long time in the making, Greg. I want to be the first to say, congratulations.
Thank you.
It is real.
No one's
Are you
congratulating
kidding me?
No one ever congratulates me.
This is absolutely wild. Many
you.
years ago, and I'm talking.
If you're an
about,
audio listener, what we're referencing is that on the table is a children's book. Portillo the Wiener Dog Thinks He's a Manatee, written by me, illustrated by Josh Strickland. If you remember when Porty passed 2 years ago, when I was in mourning, I put up a PDF of a manuscript I wrote for this book that I'd written before Kind of Funny. When I was looking for what I wanted to do as a creative outlet before I found YouTube, I wrote a manuscript and then sat on it for nearly a decade or whatever it was.
a story that I don't know that I've ever actually vocalized to you is like when you first. I'll never forget when you first told me about this book because it kind of unlocked something in my mind of like, wow, that is such creative thinking of like, I want to write a children's book. Like that's such a cool, unique thing that Greg Miller, I just would have never expected that from you. And it leveled you up in my mind at that point where I was like, oh, this guy's a lot cooler and more creative than I would have given him credit for, knowing you as limited as I did back then.
Sure.
Because I remember exactly when it was. I can actually timestamp it.
Nice.
This was on one of the drives from IGN to the original spare bedroom to
nice,
record
nice.
one of the Game Over Greggy show episodes. As we were driving down Lincoln out in the sunset, you were explaining to Nick where we were in the Walking Dead comics. And where we were in the Walking Dead comics is Negan's here.
We're old.
And the all-out war is like starting.
Yeah.
That's how old this all was. So like that's crazy to me that like here it is.
Yeah.
10 years later,
Yeah,
and it
yeah.
exists by Josh Strickland, a Kind of Funny best friend who's been amazing doing art for us for so long.
Of course.
Cameos from a lot of the other Kind of Funny pups throughout.
Yeah, I mean, Ram isn't even in there because we did it so long ago. Because
Yeah.
again, like Josh jumped. Well, I mean, she didn't even do that. You know, shout out to Anthony Barlow, a Kind of Funny best friend as well, who works in the book publishing business. Who, when I put up the manuscript, hit me up and was like, "Hey, we'd love to work with you on making this a real book." And then was like, "Would you want us?" As we got deeper into it, would you want us to hire just a random illustrator we know, or is there somebody from the community? And we were like, well, Josh Strickland's always drawing Little Greggy and Little Porty, so that'd be a great one. And Josh turned it around very quickly, and then it was just the trials and tribulations of book publishing, book publishers going out of business, Anthony continuing to do it, Joey chasing all the leads, doing all these things. And so, 2+ years later, we're here with it finally available on kindoffunny.com/store right now, alongside a limited run of Porty merch. I'm wearing one of the sweatshirts right now. It's a very nice sweatshirt, crew neck with the embroidered Portillo logo on there. Of course, kindoffunny.com/store. You can go there. There are shirts. There is a hat. There is embroidery there. The book is there as well. One of the things I want to do, because we're us and we can do this, of course, is that I want you to know, you asked me when I sat down if I had talked to Nick. And over the weekend, I was like, yeah, I did, about the pricing. And he was like, yeah. I wanted to call out the pricing on our stuff here for this. We've switched merch people, as you know, because now we're doing this. And if you didn't know, when we did that run of Pride merch, I was so happy to see people get it and go, holy shit, this shirt's a way higher quality than it used to be. We've stepped up the kind of shirts we're using over there. So not only are the shirts better, we're also using an embroidery now, which is far different than screen printing. And then, of course, we're making a hardcover it's a real-ass book.
Oh, yeah.
Like, this isn't like a McDonald's-y book or whatever. No offense to McDonald's-y books that gets back in happy. But, like, it's a real-ass book that we did here that's been gestating, taken a lot of hands to get there and stuff.
Yeah.
So I just wanted everybody to know that we are very aware we are asking premium prices for all of this, but this is all actual premium quality things.
I know, just giving shout-outs. I want to give a shout-out to Joey Noel, who's had her hands on this book for so long, just back and forth, trying to get it out, trying to make everything happen. So
I said it to her. I said shout out to Joey Noel.
Well, I want to give my shout-out because I know the hell personally.
Sure, it's been a lot. It's been a lot for Joey to go through and do that. Kindoffunny.com/store, like I said, for the merch, and of course, for the book.
People were asking, I saw where the B-roll was from that Barrett was showing. Roger and Nick and you shot a little like mini documentary kind of talking about like the story of this book that you guys can watch now on
youtube.com/kindoffunnygames. It's up there. and then it's up on my thing too. And it was originally supposed to be the ad we'd run during shows, but I cry so much in it. They were like, can you just give us a VO for the ad?
Yeah.
We'll run this as a documentary to make people cry somewhere else. So there you go. You can do that. If you didn't know, ladies and gentlemen, remember this is Kind of Funny Games Daily, each and every weekday on a variety of platforms, live on YouTube, Twitch, and podcast services around the globe. We run you through the nerdy video game news you need to know about. If you like that, be part of the show live as we go with your YouTube Super Chats. Super Chats about the news get read right away. You can be part of it with your questions, comments, concerns, and your own thoughts and opinions. Of course, if you like what we do here, if you want to support us, you can, of course, buy the merch like we're talking about, kindoffunny.com/store, but more importantly, would be getting the Kind of Funny membership, either on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames or patreon.com/kindoffunny. You can pick up a membership and get all of our shows ad-free, get the ability to watch our afternoon podcast live as we record them, like today's Kind of Funny podcast, and, of course, get my daily video vlog / podcast Gregway each and every day for your listening and viewing pleasure. Housekeeping for you. We're an 11-person small business that's all about live talk shows. Today, after Kind of Funny Games Daily, you're going to get I have my bullet points here.
Yes.
Then something slid on the calendar. Is that live or is that Patreon or is that what are we doing with that?
That'll be Patreon.
Okay, so also if live afternoon. So after
I think
Games Daily, you could go on Patreon or YouTube with your membership and watch us react to the Captain America trailer, yeah?
It looks like it's live, everyone.
Live everywhere. Don't worry about it. On Twitch, on YouTube, we're live all the time doing a reacts right there. After that, it's going to be the Kind of Funny Gamescast. Oh, shit. Did I fuck it up? Is it Gamescast then that?
Yes.
After this is the Kind of Funny Gamescast. It's the Concord preview. Andy, Mike, and Parris are giving Tim the lowdown on YouTube, Twitch, and podcast services. After that, you can watch us finally react to the Captain America teaser trailer together. After that, Nick and Mike are getting chained together on YouTube and Twitch. Don't forget, when we talk about live talk shows, we talk about crazy stuff. Tomorrow, it's tailgate time, ladies and gentlemen. We're finally doing it in
What's that
Mizzou,
mean,
Colorado. We'll talk about it in 1 second because it's a lead story here anyway. If you're a Kind of Funny member today, you'll get a Gregway. What's it going to be? I don't know. I need to drive and pick up tailgate supplies, and I'll do it then. Will I talk about college football? Will I keep that for the Gamescast? Will I find something else? Will I cry about Porty? You'll find out. And then, of course, you can get the Kind of Funny podcast this afternoon when we will talk about the one, the only, Benjamin Miller's first time at Disney. Tomorrow, that'll be on YouTube and podcast services. Thanks for making our dreams a reality, Patreon producers Carl Jacobs and Delaney Twining. Today, we're brought to you by Harry's and Portillo the Wiener Dog thinks he's a manatee, but we'll tell you about that later. For now, let's begin the show with what is and forever will be the Roper Report. Time for some news! 10 items on the Roper Report.
A baker's dozen.
Tim, while you were out there with Andrew Goldfarm catching your shinies and your other bullshit things that should have been left for children, me and Snow Bike Mike were storming the gridiron. Mike, get your ass out here to talk about
college kids.
Get out here to talk about EA College Football 25, ladies and gentlemen. It's back. 11 years, it's back. We were out there, Mizzou, Colorado. Mike went to Tahoe, got the code on Friday, said, I'm going to buy a new TV.
I'm gonna buy a new TV, Tim.
In Tahoe, sat inside the entire time playing college football. I had to find things to distract my wife and child with so I could take my Missouri Tigers all the way to the top of the college football rankings. You kidding
That's
me?
how important it is, Tim. I bought a brand new television.
11
okay?
years, Tim.
11 years, Tim. Feels like a lifetime ago.
You buy this hat? You already had this hat.
Already have
Well, that's
Okay,
a classic
good,
hat.
good.
You kidding me right there?
Good.
This is all classic. This is all classic.
Tim, college football is back.
Yeah,
dog.
it
It's
is.
a gosh darn big deal. And I'm excited to talk with Greg about it because we can give our impressions about it after a short, fast weekend.
That's the thing.
It was
So,
tough.
ladies and gentlemen, like I said, we got code Friday. They said the embargo is Monday, as of course servers are turning on for early access today for people to run out there. We are going to give you a review so far tomorrow as a Gamescast. But I couldn't miss the opportunity not to talk to Mike about it.
I get it.
So, Tim, get out of here.
I'm gonna get
go
out of here.
get it. Go lay an egg. You know what I mean? Whatever it is you do around here, go do for 10, 20 minutes. You know what I mean?
Tim, I want you to know I saw a grown man on the golf course playing Pokemon Go next to his wife, and he had the biggest smile on his face. He said, the game's pretty good nowadays. The wife
Hey,
didn't
fucking
wanna hear it.
loser. Go play some
Like,
college
all right,
football. You know what I
nerd.
mean?
Let's talk about it.
You jump in there, you turn it on. First impressions, Mikey. What did you do? You said it was Colorado. What did you think of that fucking
Are
start
you ready
screen?
for the real Greg?
Yeah.
It was an okay time. Yeah, it was okay to my mega fan base being a good time.
Okay. You're talking about overall experience of the game?
Overall experience, it was okay.
Okay.
I think we know coming into this, or you should know what this is. This is a bare bones experience, right? It has the foundation and the groundwork of what will be, hopefully, the next generation of college football to usher in. But I was smacked in the mouth with just generic drumline beats. And I'm like, where's Hail to the Victor? Where is my See You Boulder fight song? Why am
You don't have your fight song?
No, I'm saying, why am I not being greeted by these things?
Oh, you mean when you pick your initial team?
When you go to the main menu anytime, they just play generic drumline beat. And it's like, no licensed soundtrack, no Posty on the track right now. He's red hot. But then they have 2 licensed songs that you can hear mini clips of. They, of course, have Sandstorm. And they have Mo Bamba that just pops up out of nowhere. You couldn't play those at the main menu. And so I want to say a couple of things. The moment-to-moment gameplay when we were on the field is a good experience. It's a great experience. It is what I want from NCAA. It's a little bit faster paced than Madden. It has all of the keys that you would want in a 11-on-11 football field, a field vibe that you would get from Madden or any old school NCAA. But when we talk about the presentation, the glory, the pageantry, it's missing the touch, Greg.
Wow.
So I want to hear from you. That's just what I took away. I wasn't wowed like I wanted to be. I thought after 11 years, I would look at this and go, oh my gosh, we're so back. And after 11 years, I go, man.
See, for me, again, top level, Gamescast will get into all the bells and whistles and things like that. For me, it is, we're so back.
Yeah.
I agree. I would agree with the presentation, I guess. I'm not OMG. But Barrett, if you can go to my Twitter that I put on this one here, Greg's start screen, like for me, just going in and selecting Mizzou as my team and then being greeted with this start screen, right? It'll be up in a second, right here, right? Like down there in the lower right corner, having
makes you smile. Yeah.
Yeah, the Cornhuskers versus the Tigers, October 11th, 2003. Like, I was at that game. I ran onto the field. Mizzou put up a poster. They sold a poster that said victory because it was the first time they'd beaten Nebraska in forever, let alone when they were ranked and we all tore down the goalpost. You can see me on the poster.
Yeah.
So to have that immortalized in college football here, right? And I was like, oh, that's great. And I loved the personalized touch of this. I understand what you're talking about with why am I not getting the fight song here? Why am I? That I wasn't expecting. And I guess I think that might be the biggest. What, you really?
Okay. Yeah, you expect that. You expect that.
No, I don't. I
really?
Think, yeah, I think.
After years of Madden, you think of all these music that we've gotten, all these soundtracks. You don't open up an NCAA football or a EA college football now and go, where is that? You can't even put in a generic fight song. Hail to the Victor.
I mean, they have the drum line going and the thing that, I mean, like,
that's a drum.
We're talking about a
AI
main
drum
menu.
line.
We're talking about menus. You know what I mean? We're talking about menus here, right? Of like, for me, it's doing what I need to do get to where I need. But I agree with you of like, for me, it's about being on the field and doing the goddamn thing. And so, like, being out there and playing, like, feels so good. And for me,
feels good.
What I really have enjoyed is doing all the mini games. Have you been doing these?
Yeah.
No?
It's fine. They're generic mini games.
Yeah, but they feel so
seen
good.
Them, been there, done that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? That's the issue. If you play as much Madden as I have over the years, it's not like you're seeing something new being reinvented in front of you. It's like, hey, those mini games that we've had? They're in this now. And it's like, okay, well, like, that's fun and all, but I've already done them. It's not surprising.
You ain't pitching like you pitching in this game. Don't act like you're out there pitching in Madden like this.
It always makes me smile. We still have never figured out the crowds, cheerleaders on the side. Like, everything between the lines, fantastic. We zoom out. Stadium is an exception. The stadiums, they did a phenomenal job.
Yeah.
But we still have the cheerleader's hair is sideways. This cheerleader, her hairline is all the way up to the top of her head. Okay? She's bugged out. Then it's just like, we can never dial that in, which is still stunning to me. But I think that's why I say it's okay to good, and it's the foundation, right? We talk about it's a bare bones experience that you're going to purchase here tomorrow and onward throughout the week, right? And so it's like, what do you want out of your college football? You have Dynasty and, of course, Road to Glory. Those are going to be your 2 big game modes, unless you want to go wild with Ultimate Team. I make my coach.
I liked Ultimate Team, and I was like not expecting it. For my weekend, I did a lot of taste testing of jumping in all the different stuff.
I couldn't get my Ultimate Team to work. Servers were on and off. I would turn on, it would give me a little taste, and then it would kick me out. And it's like, okay, well, I'll just wait for you to turn this on. I know you're not ready for this. But like creating my coach, no detail in that. Here's just generic 42 random faces that you can choose from. That's it.
Bear, throw it up that second tweet for me and show my Dynasty head coach, Eddie Guerrero. See, again, as somebody who doesn't want to make himself, I turn this on, I get inspired. I saw this guy with the Eddie Guerrero face. I was like, no, one back, please. Eddie Guerrero face, and I was like, here we go. Went and looked up Eddie's height, his weight, put him in there, put him from New Mexico State. I'm like, Eddie Guerrero's not the coach of the University Tigers. You know what I mean?
Got it
and then,
right there.
click over one more back to the generic thing. This guy in Road to Glory looks so much like Corey Graves. I'm like, I'm doing Corey Graves. I know he's from Pittsburgh, so he's going to play at Pitt. He's going to do this, and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, I appreciate that on the My Player for Road to Glory. We can detail them up a little bit more, right? Your generic Madden details. I was surprised that we couldn't just bring that into the coach side of things. So you just have generic presets on that. Moving forward, I mean, it is fun to get in. There's some things I like, some things I don't like. Presentation-wise, the Apple iPhone on the table with the generic text message bubbles.
Yeah.
Could have had a little more fun with that, but I get it. I think it's pretty cool of
That's
what
Road
are
to
you?
Glory, yeah.
Are you
where you're
about
getting things.
Are you about the NIL deals? Are you an academic weapon like I am, where I'm just studying and hitting the books? I like that fun that you can be dictating with your player. It's tough, right? If you go to CU Boulder and you're a quarterback, you're starting behind Shadur, who is the #1 rated quarterback in the game.
Sure.
You ain't gonna start for about 3 seasons, so you got to really pick where you want to go, depending on your play style and what you want to be.
Sure.
What else did you like and didn't like?
I mean, again, I love playing it.
Yeah.
I love the feel of it. I feel some, I think, and this is an interesting one. It'll be a very interesting one tomorrow on the Gamescast. Is that when I stepped away from reviewing Madden for IGN, I would usually do, not even usually, I've had a few of, there's a new Madden out and somebody's over and we play a night of it, or Poe's in town and we play a night of it. And then, I have not consumed a football game, stem to stern in a long time.
Yeah.
So for me coming back, I was blown away by how good the run felt in this. And it is that idea of I can't compare it to what Madden 24's run feels like, but in my entire collegiate football career on these video games, right? You can ask Poe and Madden as well, but I played so much more NCAA. It was always the idea that I had to be a scrambling QB who could just fucking whip it, because I could not run. I could never run. In this one, it has been the blocks are so much easier to read. I feel like there's more time. Having the option, you know what I mean? Both literally, flipping the option out, but then just even triple options of where do I want to go with it. I'm reading the defense way better right now than I have in the past. And I'm feeling like my guy can bump off and get going. I feel like that's a big thing, is I'm able to bump and go.
Yeah.
I like the passing structure too, in terms of
Don't
whip it all the way over.
The new
put it to
account
here.
on that one, it's right with the accuracy. I think for a lot of people not playing Madden year to year like I am, right, there's going to be a lot of old heads or new people jumping in going, oh my God, college football is back. I haven't played in so long, and it's going to feel great, right? And that's the foundation that they've built for the past 2 decades, right? And I will agree with you, the running feels good. NCAA football and college football have always felt a little bit faster, right? It's
As they should.
You take Madden, you take that slider up to 9 on the speed scale, and that's what it should be. I will say, I like the passing. I love the crowd meter, of course, and it messing with that.
Stadium Pulse.
They've done that in all of these
course.
games, so it's not like it's new. But if you're right, when I'm playing, it feels good. When you are out of playing, it's this is year 1, right? Hey, we got the deal signed. Let's make this. And that's why I'm saying it's the foundation of something that will be great.
But when you say that, and I hear you.
Yeah.
I'm not attacking it. Are you talking about the in Dynasty and recruiting and all that stuff? Are you
Dynasty
talking about
recruiting-
just the way they're presenting all this information?
All the presentation stuff,
Okay.
right? Player cards, right? Photos. We
player
have
cards in
so
Ultimate Team
much
suck,
here.
and the photos suck.
We have so much here to work with, and it's we didn't do any of that, right? It's just let's get this out. But when you talk about the nitty gritty, right? You want to sign players, be in their top 10. Oh, what am I doing? Am I offering them a scholarship?
Yeah.
Am I sending the house? Those are fun things, right? But you got to be into that week to week, right? Or what I like, you can just set the CPU to do recruiting for you if you don't want to do it, and you can just play your fantasy of playing the game.
And so,
if we got the Pop-Tart game, right? And the cool part about this is when you do play now, you can do your basic exhibition game. You can jump into the NCAA College Football Championship. You can choose from all of these bowl games, which is great.
All the
they have
rivalry
the
games.
location. They, of course, changed the crowd colors, right? But we can't put the Pop-Tart mascot in. Something so easy. but a mascot that has taken over the zeitgeist
Let
of
me just
social
full
media
stop
for the
you.
past 2 years.
Right, is like I do think right there things can slip by. Right.
Yeah.
Sure, the Pop-Tart mascot, whatever. Truman the Tiger's not in the game.
That's crazy.
They don't have Truman in the game, and it's like I know that I'm the Mizzou guy, and you've probably heard me for years talk about Mizzou. I get it, right? But it is the idea of like Truman's been in like those competitions to be the best mascot, and like he's not like a nobody. He should be in there, you'd think. But I think for me, that's where the seam show of like, hey, we got to get the game done and get it out, so we can't get all the mascots. We'll build on that year to year. Which again, I'm fine with, and this is my thing, is like the minimal. And because I wouldn't even say minimal presentation, right? I think, again, they have the paint job out there to make you feel like it is. I'm not hanging on that long enough for that to be a down to me. I want to get into the game.
Yeah.
And that's the thing where it's like I go into these mini games and I'm doing the, scramble, stay alive for as long as you can, scrambling thing. Is that a mini game from? See, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And it's like, that feels new to me and it is so much fun that I'm putting so much time into that. And I'm eventually like, fuck, I've done this for 45 minutes. I need to go play a game.
Yeah, I think.
And then I get in the game and the game feels good. I think the in-game presentation, right, of the announcers, lower thirds,
Jesse Palmer.
sides.
I mean, Kirk is great.
I feel like that's the shit that matters to so many people.
I think so, but like you will spend a number of time outside of that, right? As much as you say, in the game. Yes, in the game, like I said, is good to great. It feels good. It looks good. But the issue is you're not going to spend all of your time out there. You will be outside of the game. You will be looking at other facets of it, and you will be greeted by that menu every single time. And after the fifth 20 times that you've done it, you're going to say, man, we couldn't have done that, right? Like EA Sports, EA, people producing money, they're printing money over there. You couldn't do this? A little soundtrack, anything? Like there's just small pieces that's like, next year it will be better, and that's what I give. That's why I say the framework.
Sure, but I agree with you. And we'll cap it off here.
We have so much.
We'll talk tomorrow
bro.
on Gamescast after more, and then of course tomorrow is the tailgate. We will finish the Gamescast. We will walk out the back. We will shotgun beers and drink a paint can, and then come in to watch Colorado.
I'm going to
Mizzou.
spank Greg Miller. I want everyone to know that
We're playing
on
PlayStation. That's not going to happen. All right, I'm not going to learn these Xbox buttons.
Yes.
Anyways, though. I'm with you that like when I came out of the first thing and then I reloaded the game on the second night, I was like hopeful that the game in the corner would change. It wouldn't always be Nebraska 2003. It'd be like, here's another big Mizzou moment. Here's another thing. And I think that's the little TLC that you'll see added over the years.
Yeah,
right?
I'm looking for like a day one patch, right? You go into edit uniforms before the game, and like the character just needs like a couple of brush overs here, right? Like, and that's small stuff, but these are things you look at from like, hey, we've doing decades of these sports games. What is this one different for? And I think it is, hey, we got the deal signed. Let's get this out the door. Let's go right away, right? I'm looking at Travis Hunter, one of the number one players in the universe right now for NCAA football and all the world, right? And for some reason, this guy's got dreadlocks down past his numbers or braids or a mullet. I'm looking at Travis Hunter on YouTube yesterday. He doesn't have any hair like that. So what are we doing here? Why does he got crazy hair? He doesn't have that hairdo. Yeah. He's the number one player in the nation.
But you got his name, all right? You got his name. That's all that matters.
And man, that CU Buffaloes team is nasty, y'all. That's the fun part, is recruiting five. We're going to talk so much about this. It's good. Not great, but I'm excited to give it a score and talk more with Greg later on.
We will, of course, be back tomorrow for a full-blown Gamescast all about this. I asked Andy to host it so he could ask us football questions. You know what I mean? Otherwise, it's just you and me ranting nonstop. Like I said, though, tomorrow Gamescast will be, of course, our review of college football 25 so far, followed by a tailgate where we will get drunk and then either play or watch. I'm not sure what we're doing. We haven't decided. We'll figure it out.
We're going to ball up. It's going to be great.
For now, I will remind you, ladies and gentlemen, that we're an 11-person small business and we could use your support. Why not pick up that Kind of Funny membership where, of course, you get all of our shows ad-free, the ability to watch the podcast like the Kind of Funny podcast live as we record them in the afternoon, this afternoon, and, of course, the vlog/podcast series Gregway each and every day. However, right now, you're not using your membership benefits, so here's a word from our sponsor.
This episode is brought to you by Harry's. I always hate when I buy something and I talk to someone else and I realize I way overspent and they got it for cheaper. It's happened to all of us, but getting ripped off is no joke, especially when there's razors involved. The people at Harry's were tired of seeing everyday people paying way too much for low-quality shaving products, so they found a way to make beautifully designed razors without laughably high prices. You can get better designed and better value grooming products made by a company that forged their own path in the grooming industry. Parris has been keeping me looking right for years, and you already know I'm going to count on them for a high-quality shave for my wedding. Highest customer satisfaction in the shaving industry. No risk trial. You don't like your shave? No worries. It's on them. Convenient subscription options that allow you to cancel at any time, and you can stop getting ripped off. With Harry's, you can get a shave that's a cut above the rest. Get started with a $13 trial set for just $3 at harrys.com/kindafunny. That's harrys.com/kindafunny for a $3 trial set.
Major announcement. I wrote a children's book, and you can buy it right now. My first ever children's book, Portillo the Wiener Dog Thinks He's a Manatee, is available as a limited run at kindafunny.com/store. I'm forever grateful to Kinda Funny best friend Josh Strickland for stepping in to help turn my dream into a reality with his amazing original illustrations. To celebrate the book launch, we're also bringing back the Portillo hat and t-shirt, along with a fun new crew neck that you can wear while you're reading the book to your kids or pets. Head over to kindafunny.com/store right now and check it out before it disappears. Number 2 on the Roper Report, the crash game that never was. This is Andy Robinson of VGC. A former Toys for Bob artist has claimed that a 5th Crash Bandicoot game was canceled at the studio. Concept artist Nicholas Cole made the claim in an X thread this weekend, in which they shared news that a separate project they'd been working on for another studio, Project Dragon, had been canceled. Responding to fans speculating the project could be related to Spyro due to the codename, Cole said that it was not, but claimed that a version of Crash 5 had been canceled. Quote, "It's not Spyro, but someday folks will hear about the Crash 5 that never was, and it's going to break their hearts," they wrote. In another reply, Cole claimed that Project Dragon and Crash 5 were, quote, "two totally separate canceled projects at 2 different studios." Crash Bandicoot developer Toys for Bob split from Activision this year following Microsoft's acquisition of the Call of Duty publisher. The studio later revealed it had signed a publishing agreement with Microsoft for its next game. The last Crash Bandicoot game, It's About Time, released in 2020 and was well received by critics. According to the LinkedIn profile of a developer, the game went on to sell more than 5 million copies. Timothy Geddes.
Yeah.
You're famous for many things.
I am.
Saving the Coot was one of them. You
Saving the
did that.
Bandicoot.
You made that happen.
Yes, it was a personal endeavor of mine.
Do we need a 5th one? Were you expecting a 5th
I was
one?
not expecting. I would love one.
Yeah.
I don't think that, unlike the title of 4, I don't think it's time for a 5 necessarily. Because I've been saying this a long time, I think it's Spyro's time to shine. Spyro deserves a new game if we're just kind of following the logic of the sequels, remasters, remakes that they've been doing over at Activision and all the different teams over there. But I would be thrilled to get a Crash 5, and I expect we will get a Crash 5 at some point.
Okay.
I think a lot of what's going on here is a lot of tomfoolery on the acquisition side.
Yeah.
When you just think about the timing of things, of projects being either announced or canceled or what's being worked on, and the amount of turmoil going on, even just looking at Toys for Bob, of them now being fully independent, but they're working with Microsoft. Like, there's so much happening that I am not surprised that projects are being canceled and potentially reworked, or from the ground up, a very different Crash 5 happening in the future. And I, again, don't think it's even going to be that far into the future. I don't know much about the development cycle, like the time of these games, but I don't think it's as long as some of the kind of crazy ass like 8 to 10 year cycles. So I feel like this is the type of thing they have a lot of people thinking about constantly: a Crash, a Spyro, some of the bigger IP that they have access to. What I found more interesting is Nicholas Cole here. I saw on Twitter over the weekend, like I even put this into the Games Daily Slack. I saw when this was kind of like breaking. Yeah. And they're just tweeting a whole bunch of shit. Like, they're saying stuff on my, you shouldn't say that. You're saying some things that you're technically not supposed to say, I'd imagine, which is very fun to look at, because there's a lot of really cool things. And shout out to Nicholas, incredible artist. I was unaware of this, but they're behind most of the concept art of all the Crash 4 stuff, which is beautiful, great art. But beyond that, the Lorcana, the Disney card game recently, that has such a cool style, where they kind of take Disney characters and like make them like a little bit more cool, a little bit more, like fantasy based, like Magic the Gathering adjacent. And he seems to be like one of the main artists for that stuff. And I've seen a lot of their work on Twitter has been very like, whoa, like there's a lot of talent here. And then they were talking about Project Dragon, which you would assume is Spyro. But then they brought up Crash 5, and it was like, oh, that's weird. So then people are like, wait a minute, was Crash 5 going to be like a Crash Crash Cross Spyro situation, which would be very cool. And then they're like, no. Project Dragon is not Crash Bandicoot. Project Dragon is a different game. And since then, they've actually been posting a bunch of concept art of Project Dragon, completely unrelated to Spyro or Crash, totally different type of game. And then bringing up, there's 2 different studios working on this. Again, I think that there's a lot here that doesn't necessarily point to the end or beginning of any project.
Okay.
But I do think that it's great that Crash Bandicoot is at the very least being thought of as something that should have a Crash 5. And the 5
still
million
in people's minds. You know?
Yeah, and selling great. I mean, the 5 million sales they're talking about here, like that is an outdated number as well. We don't have the update there, but we've seen these Crash games, specifically the trilogy remake and things like that, sell incredibly well. So I hope we get a Crash 5 at some point, but I'm not in a rush for it.
Okay, fair enough. Number 3, I'll tell you who is in a rush. First Descendant to change all the stuff they ripped off from Destiny. Yeah. This is Wesley Yinpool at IGN. The developer of looter shooter The First Descendant has said it will change its icons in the game after it was accused of copying Bungie's Destiny 2. The First Descendant, a free-to-play shooter from Korean games company Nexon, currently is blowing up on Steam, was accused of using barely changed Destiny 2 icons soon after release. Forbes pointed it out, the remarkable similarities between the icons used by Bungie for its thing to this thing. Amid the accusations, one Bungie icon artist tweeted, quote, "Feels like a great day to mention that Bungie icon artists are a super crew of talented folks with original ideas and sharp instincts," end quote. Fans subsequently unearthed evidence to suggest the root of the problem might have been an icon database called Icon Duck that features a Destiny icons set that includes 204 icons, all supposedly open sourced with a Creative Commons 0 v1.0 universal license. Quote, "All icons can be used for personal and commercial purposes," Icon Duck claims on its website. The designer of the icon set explained that most of the icons in the set were, quote, "ripped from the font files created by Bungie and its designers," end quote. At the time, fans speculated that Nexon might have used these Destiny icons from Icon Duck and tweaked them slightly for The First Descendant. In a statement issued to IGN, Nexon failed to explain the process it used for the icons in question, but did admit that Destiny 2, quote, "served as an inspiration during the development process and promises to make changes." Here's the full statement. The First Descendant, as a looter-shooter game, was developed with a deep affection and respect for other games in the genre. Destiny 2, being a globally renowned looter-shooter game, is also personally admired and respected by the team, and it has served as an inspiration during our development process. We have taken the concerns raised seriously and decided to make adjustments to ensure that the imagery that may appear similar clearly reflects the unique identity of our game. We will continue to improve the game for fans of the looter-shooter genre, end quote.
Man, there's a lot there. It's funny seeing the image there, too.
Can you throw it back up there?
I was just like, wow, like these look ridiculously like the emblems back in the Halo 2 days where you can like kind of combine them together to make different patches and stuff.
Sure.
And I was like, oh, yeah, it's Bungie. That makes
Bungie
a lot of sense. Lineage will be there.
Yeah.
Probably many, if not all of the same artists that worked on those. But yeah, so looking at these, it's like, yeah, this is definitely derivative, to say the least. But they kind of spell it all out here. There's an explanation for how it all happened.
Icon Duck!
Yeah, you know, we all get ducked once in a while.
We do get ducked once in a while.
But yeah, so this is unfortunate for sure.
Yeah.
It's good that it seems like they're like, all right, fuck, we're changing it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you can't, when you look at this, you can't really fight this evidence.
Yeah.
And so I would think the Icon Duck seems like to be the easiest solution. And in terms of them not, going through the process or whatever, I don't know what IGN's exact question was, but I wonder about like translation. You'd be lost in translation. You're going over there, you're getting the information from whoever to then put this thing out or whatever. But seems like that it's a my bad. We'll get it fixed. So good for them. Just more than anything, nice to see it closed up. Speaking of maybe a my bad, number 4. Nintendo translators want credit. This is Blair Marnell at GameSpot. In order to bring Japanese games like Paper Mario, The Thousand Year Door, and Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom to America and other countries around the world, Nintendo uses teams of internal and external translators to fully localize each title. But you'd never know that from the game's credits, which exclude the names of the external translator. Now, a small number of external translators are speaking out about not being credited for their contributions to some of Nintendo's biggest titles. Via GameDeveloper.com, an anonymous former Nintendo employee who currently works as a translator for Nintendo through an outside company called LocalSoft has detailed one onerous terms that the external translators have had to deal with. In addition to not getting any credit in the games themselves, the translators have to sign a 10-year NDA that prevents them from telling anyone they worked on these titles or even putting them in their resumes. Quote, I felt I would benefit from being able to state I worked on the title when offering my services to new clients. Not to mention that I actually spent a fair amount of time working almost exclusively for them, wrote an anonymous translator. Quote, it is nigh impossible for translators to push back against this structure. Anyone trying will get blacklisted before getting anywhere. This is a field where taking an annual break can shut you out of months of work. No one cares what we think because there's literally nothing we can do about it. And that's even if we were willing to forfeit our livelihood for the greater good, end quote. Nintendo's exclusion of the external translators from their rightful credit appears to be the company's stance on the issue. As noted above, the vast majority of translators are unwilling to risk their livelihoods by calling out Nintendo's practices. But the only way this issue can be resolved is if the public pressure is great enough to convince Nintendo to change that policy. Otherwise, the status quo will remain.
It's wild, man. Nintendo's had a lot of issues with crediting in the last couple of years that we've seen, and I think that there's like definitely two sides to it. There's one side that's the actual name in the credits of the game, which I believe put everyone's name. Why wouldn't you? If there's like, it's not like there's a downside to that. It's just going to accurately credit the people, and people can skip it if they want or not even look at the credits. There's so many different ways to go about that. That, though, I understand that there is some technicalities. There's things to figure out this way, that way, whatever. I feel people's names should be there. I get that there's reasons why they don't want that for whatever reason. Sure. The other side of it is like the NDAs to not be able to talk about it on your resume and things like that. That is such absolute garbage nonsense. That is so not cool. And it's like, that to me is the type of thing that just feels like a power trip and like an act of control that is very destructive to individuals and also like the health and kind of ability to progress as an industry in the future for something that is incredibly important, like localization or just translating or anything like that, to be able to get hands in as many and get into as many gamers' hands as possible, being able to be worldwide, especially a company like Nintendo, that is such an important part of their ethos and who they are. It's like, yeah, that's horrible. And it's just like, that just seems like such like old way of thinking that should never have been the way of thinking, but it's like such a money hat move, you know?
Yeah. It seems like such an outdated way of doing this, right? Where I would imagine the Nintendo take on it, right, of being siloed the way Nintendo often is, right, where they hide even the developer of the game until you beat the game, hopefully, would just be the idea that on this end, well, whoever wrote it is the writer, whoever's translating it is just doing copy to paste, right? They're doing Google Translate, which of course isn't correct. Translators go through and take jokes that are very much, this joke makes sense in Japan, but not in America. It makes an American version.
Localizing.
Exactly, right? There's a lot of work that goes into it. So yeah, I think whatever the policy had been in the past, the time has come, if not gone, obviously, by quite some time to say, no, let's credit these people who are doing these things because everybody else does it, right? You see that when you go through a PlayStation game, you'll see the translators and who's working with what and what's going on that way. Yeah. So yeah, it seems completely outdated and nonsense.
Yeah, totally. And yeah, the thing that you were just mentioning about like not knowing what teams are working on games, it's like, it's, again, that falls more into the former category of what I was talking about of like, I understand that there's some reasons of why Nintendo would want to do that. I don't agree with them, but I understand where they might be coming from, and it is a control thing of them wanting to control the look and feel of their games and having them just be Nintendo games as opposed to a video game. When you turn it on, you see 10 different splash screens before you actually get to the title screen. They want you to turn on a Nintendo thing, hear the little Nintendo chime, and then see the Paper Mario logo. You know what I mean? Yep. I get that desire. I don't agree with it, but I feel like with this stuff, it's like it just feels very potentially damaging to so many people, and even like the people that are already having to deal with this. It's like that. This is not how you help people continue to stay employed, and at some point, if they're not employed, then at a certain point in Nintendo, you're not going to have translators that are going to be able to do this, that have the knowledge of how to correctly do it for a video game script, which is different than a movie script or a TV script or other things that need to be translated, even just like ad copy or whatever it is for 100%. Various things. So yeah, this is the type of thing that I do think over time will change, but it won't unless things like this happen where it's being
People,
talked about
I mean,
and-
people talk about it and understand what's happening. Yeah.
Because otherwise, like we would never
Like they
know.
say, who can champion them if they can't champion
if they
themselves?
can't, and like that's the scariest part is like they're by design being held down with no option. Like they're being the NDAs are not allowing them to even talk about it, which is like, oh shit, like that, then no one would ever know. So
Sucks. Stop it. Number 5, this also sucks. It would appear that Disney has been hacked. This is Andy Robinson over at VGC. A hacker group has claimed to have leaked more than 1 terabyte of internal data related to Disney projects. As reported by HackRed, maybe it's HackRead, hacker group Null Bulge claims to have... Huh?
I don't like that.
I don't either, but there's no bulge. Null Bulge, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Claims to have breached Disney's internal Slack platform, allegedly leaking messages, files, code, and more. The alleged breach is said to contain a complete copy of the company's Slack communications used by their development team, including messages, files, and other data. The hackers claim the dump includes, quote, almost 10,000 channels, every message and file possible, unreleased projects, raw images, code, logins, links to internal API/web pages, and more, end quote. It's thought that this weekend's leak of Aliens Fireteam Elite 2 is a result of the data breach. The first game was developed in collaboration with Disney's 20th Century Games.
Come on, man. This is just not good. Don't be stealing people's shit like this.
Right.
It's just so dirty. It just all these type of news stories like really like bother me because like if you just stop for a second and think, what did this happen to me?
Yeah.
That's terrifying.
Yeah.
It's like it's so hurtful, like the potential damage that could do. And again, you go beyond that to like just what the point of it all is too. It's like, all right, what are we doing here? I don't know.
Yeah, Andy's article goes on to say that the hacker group's claiming they're doing it for artist rights or whatever, right? So, like, of course, like Disney's been in hot water for that in the past or whatever. But again, you're really just hurting the artists right now.
Yeah.
You're really just ruining the projects all these people are working on. It's really not attacking Disney as much as it is hurting all these different people, leaking games, doing all this different stuff. So, shit sucks. Don't do that. Number 6, Tim. Would you hang an Xbox on your tree? When I was doing the Roper report today and running through, I saw IGN calling out that the pre-orders are open for the Hallmark Xbox ornament. There it is, the original Xbox with the Duke and everything. The pre-orders are open. You could get this and hang it on your tree. I know that you are a Grinch. I know you hate Christmas. I believe this is the first year you're going to allow Gia to have a tree.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, you said that last year.
I did.
You needed 1 full year to psych yourself up for having a tree.
Yeah. I got 6 months to figure it out.
Would you put this on your tree?
Yeah, why not? I mean, here's the thing. To be very clear,
Please.
if I do end up having to get a tree,
You will.
I'm going to say that right
You
now.
will.
Like, I want to at least decide on
Design
an
it.
aesthetic vibe before like we just are
I
willy
mean,
nilly.
it's a tree. What do you mean? Oh, you mean like ornaments and stuff?
Yeah,
Don't get me
Color,
started.
right?
This is the same thing happened with Jen where she had to sit me down, where I started breaking out my 19 Superman ornaments. And she's like, how would you feel if it was a red and white themed tree? We just put up red and white ornaments.
That's
and
what I'm
things
saying.
like that.
I just need to decide. I'm not saying that I have even a vision yet.
Sure.
On what this
I
is,
bet it's
but
going to be blue.
But I want to know what we're going with. And so maybe this fits, maybe this doesn't fit. Having said that, I do enjoy that Hallmark, it's their little keepsake series they've been doing of like every year they add a new console. I bought the Super Nintendo one because
Nice.
while I am a Grinch, I like collectibles and I like spending
You
money.
love
on
spending
things.
money.
And I also bought the little Sonic and Tails one, which I think is the greatest ornament of all time.
Oh, wow.
So where Tails is like flying and Sonic's like holding on to him. I'm like, this looks great. Can't wait to put that somewhere. I saw recently for this season they put out a Spider-Man one where he's like swinging between branches.
I have that one. I don't have that one. I have several versions of that from throughout the years that I enjoy that I've always thought are cool because his hooks are on webs.
But the webs have little ornaments on them.
Oh, I didn't see that.
It's
That's
really
neat.
cool.
That's cute.
But anyways, yeah, I like this Xbox one.
Yeah.
And I like that they have all the sound effects and all that stuff.
Sure.
I think there was a Dreamcast one that I didn't buy because the Dreamcast fucking sucks. Come
Yeah,
at me,
fuck
internet.
you,
Come at me,
Dreamcast.
internet. I don't know why I do it. I don't know why I say things like that.
Because they burned us with the Saturn and we can never go back.
Yeah, you're right.
That's what they did to me.
Saturn, God, what a
That's
controller.
I got a Saturn. And they're like, well, the Dreamcast better. I'm like, it's too late. You don't get me back. Take your C man, shove it up your C woman. You know what I mean?
Oh.
So, anyways, here back to the ornaments. Like I turned a corner where I think it can be too much because I keep getting tweets about the Ghostbusters ornament for this year, and it's just like
That's a good ornament, though.
I
Come on.
love Ghostbusters. obviously. So this ornament here, of course, commemorating the Ghostbusters about to defeat Gozer. They're, zapping Stay Puft Marshmallow Man off the top of Dana's building. It looks cool, sure, but as an ornament, first off, it's going to be too heavy for the tree. How do I know? Because I have the Superman one where he turns and changes in the phone booth, you know what I mean? That was one I had as a kid. This kind of shit, it just... And this also doesn't scream Christmas to me. You know what I mean? And then, so then it's like to extrapolate out of like, I have Ecto ones that I put in the tree. You know what I mean? I enjoy those, of course. But then it's just like, what is a Christmas tree anymore?
That's
you know
I've been asking that for years, Greg. You're
That's
right.
when it really goes, when you get into it, of like, what the fuck are we doing anymore on the Christmas tree?
Yeah.
See, I'm on the exact opposite side of the spectrum here because I was raised by a bunch of fucking dorks. So it was always like my grandpa would love this type of stuff, and he always gets like Star Trek themed ones and Star Wars themed ornaments and stuff. So I have been raised in the exact opposite side where it's like, yeah, fuck it.
I was raised in the side of put up whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
So like I have all sorts of ornaments, but even that thing was just like, I don't know, I bust them out. What am I putting up this year?
Yeah.
My stance is whatever makes you smile.
Of course, yeah.
I say we just ban Christmas trees. I don't understand it.
Should we ban Christmas?
You can't get out of this, Tim.
Okay.
You gotta
If we
get a
ban
tree.
Christmas, then no one can have Christmas trees, including us.
We all knew there was a war on Christmas.
Yep.
Fox News has been telling me for years, and here it is. It's
Here
Tim
it is.
Geddes
Me.
and his liberal San Francisco
Fuck yeah,
elites.
dude. We gotta
Just
finish
himself.
it off.
Maybe James Burke's on his side. I don't know. James Burke like Christmas lot?
He loves it.
All right. It's a weird one because even I love Halloween, but I'm like hate Christmas. But you like hate Christmas. Like you don't want anything to do with it.
Yeah. I guess that's right.
Like, that's not
I
a
guess
normal
that's
take
right.
from anybody.
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah.
mean? And I'm not.
No, well, here's the thing. It's just all the things I have to do because of it.
Oh, here we go.
You know what I mean?
Here we go.
That's what I don't like.
Yeah.
I don't like this like forced situation to literally do anything at any point in my life. Specifically though, during my time off. During my one guaranteed time off of the year, you're going to ask me to do multiple things that I don't want to do? Get out of here with that noise. And there's going to be a tree in my house? A dirty ass tree?
Yeah.
I have white Pomeranians, Greg. I don't know if you've seen them.
I have.
They can collect the dirt inside of their fluff, and then they go, "Pfft," and it's on me.
There's not so much dirt. It's not like the tree is shedding dirt nonstop.
Pines.
Sure, but you get a nice tree.
And there's always dirt. You motherfuckers
when you
say,
bring
oh, there's
it in
no
for
dirt.
the first time, I didn't say no dirt. You bring it in the first time, yeah, there's going to be some dirt.
Yes.
Also, just get a fake tree.
Fuck
Get your
that.
blue and white tree.
Get the fuck out of here with that.
We got solutions for you. You don't want to listen.
No.
I will remind everybody that Christmas is coming up, just a few short months away. And let me tell you, this Portillo Wiener Dog book, there's a gift.
Fly it
We
off
didn't
the
mention
shelves,
it's limited edition, by the way. I think there's
Yeah.
like 250 copies, so you probably should have known that before. Go buy it now before it's gone.
Yeah.
Number 7, Tim, you hate Christmas.
Yes.
But do you hate cheat code tattoos? I want to know if you'd ever get
don't
a
know.
cheat code tattoo. We go to Evan Campbell over at GameSpot, who wrote, Terrence Shannon Jr., a rookie for the Minnesota Timberwolves, sports a classic video game cheat code tattoo on his left shooting forearm. The first round draft pick has the PlayStation inputs for infinite ammo inked on his body from Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. The official Minnesota Timberwolves account on X confirmed the GTA cheat code tattoo after another user asked about it on the social media platform. Shannon Jr. is currently playing in the NBA Summer League after being drafted from the University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign. Since when is Champaign-Urbana? What the fuck? Anyways, I looked at this and I said, that's fucking cool.
That's fucking amazing.
That is fucking cool.
I love it. If I were to get a tattoo, this one would be, I would approve it. I would approve it. There's something about it being the infinite ammo code on your arm like that
But
I
he's a
don't
shooting arm.
like.
So pa, pa, pa.
Yeah.
He's saying he's got all the
I
shots.
get that, but like
Splash.
there's something about that like politically doesn't sit right with me.
Sure.
But I'm particular with that type of stuff. But I think that it's fucking cool, and like these cheat codes mean a lot to me.
Yeah.
So I like this more than just like the generic, I'm gonna put the Konami code on me, unless the Konami code actually means something to you. But like
Sure.
this code, I feel it. You know what I mean? I feel it in my fingies.
I
feel it in the
will
toes.
say the line above, I feel like undercuts like how cool the cheat code line is, because above it says le heat, le lock, le freak. I don't know how I feel about that either.
Yeah, I think that's a separate tattoo.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, I didn't even realize that. I thought that was part of it.
No, it's not.
thought it
Well,
was
I mean,
a
I think
different
it's not
language.
part of it. I thought
Yeah.
it's just, you know,
And
I'm with
that-
you.
And
the
that's
other
the
thing I like is
like if it was somewhere else, like if he had it on his other arm or something, I think having it right next to the cheat code, because I don't know what the fuck this top row means, but like I don't know, there's something weird with that one.
I imagine that the top row has something to do with the bottom row, and if it doesn't, this is a bad tattoo.
okay, fair enough.
But if it does, I love the tattoo. And I'm just gonna pretend it does. I want to be positive about this. I think this is cool. I will not be getting this tattoo, but it is a possibility.
Wow.
I just wish I had a
Would
tattoo.
you get
I
a
wish-
Tony Hawk cheat code tattoo?
There you go.
Yeah, you know, the Tony Hawk cheat code's also near and dear to my heart. The slow-mo code, the big head, all that stuff.
Yeah.
But like, I don't think it's near or dear enough for me to do that.
Yeah.
Like, funnily enough, I do think the GTA ones are probably the cheat codes that.
You would do.
Yeah, like this to me, I'm like, yeah, I'm
I
all
wish
about it.
I had a cheat code that meant that much to me anymore.
Yeah.
Back in the day when they were all memorized and stuff, maybe there you would have convinced yourself. And if I would have got a tattoo then, it would have made sense. But like nowadays, like there's just not one that speaks to me that way.
Yeah,
You know?
I do like the placement and how long it is of just one thin long thing along the arm.
Yeah, yeah,
I haven't
yeah.
really seen many of those, and that's cool. I like that.
Tim,
Yeah,
I'm sick of all this big news. Like if
So
you get a
big.
video game tattoo.
Yeah, it's so
if
big.
I
What a
wanted
day
something
this was.
smaller, say the tiniest news I needed to know about. Where would I go?
you go to our last story, the We News channel, where we cover all the small news items that you need to know about.
Last story. We News, everybody. Call of Duty on Twitter announces that Call of Duty is crossing over with WWE soon. It's about to be a smackdown. WWE is bringing the best to the ring in Call of Duty. WWE is bringing its best to the ring in Call of Duty Season 5 starting July 24th. This is the trailer. They don't show anybody, just outlines of people, which is a bummer.
Wow.
I'm ready to see it.
Yeah. Like,
I want Stone Cold running around with an AK shooting the Rock
that's
with an
probably
AK.
what's going to happen, right?
Hell yeah.
And that's weird.
Very weird.
This is
but why
very
not? They have a
weird.
million people in there, right?
There's something about the Call of Duty crossovers that just really doesn't sit right with me.
Like, oh, well, I mean, you've always been a purist. You just want to be Soap McTavish.
Of course.
Yeah,
There
I
is
mean,
that.
the number
There
one
is
Call of
that.
Duty protagonist, of course.
Yeah.
I understand. Yeah, you start adding these other people in there. That's weird. IGN says the Nintendo Switch Lite Hyrule Edition is up for pre-order over at Best Buy. This is the first time it's available here in the United States. EA has revealed the cover athletes for FC25. Let's look. It is Posh Spice's husband and 4 other people.
So it's Gianluigi Buffon, Aitana Bonmati, Bellingham Jude, Zinedine, I'm going to fuck up these names, Zidane, and David Beckham.
David Beckham.
Yeah, there you go.
That's her husband.
Yeah.
Who's he married to?
Posh Spice. The planned Driver TV adaptation has been canceled. Ryan Dinsdale at IGN has this quote, we are no longer moving forward with our partnership with Binge for a Driver series, a Ubisoft spokesperson said. We are actively working on other exciting projects related to the franchise and can't wait to share more information.
Can you imagine if they announced a new driver?
Don't.
Can you just imagine?
Do not do that ever again, ladies and gentlemen. Driver, get the hell out of here. And that's it for We News. We, of course, ask people watching live to use their super chat so they can be part of the show with their questions, comments, concerns, and everything else. Zach Brown, not the singer-songwriter, says, happy NCAA day, gents. And then he says rock chalk, which, of course, offends me as a Missouri fan. But he paid the $4.99. I guess I have to say it. Kebabs writes in and says, Greg, what's your favorite picture in the book? That's a great question, Kebabs. Towards the end, there's one of little Greg hugging Porty that I liked a lot, and I was thinking about maybe changing over
I love
to...
that little Greg is a character, and he's different than you.
Yeah, you like that?
It's a little terrifying. To
Thank
think
you.
about.
It's interesting reading little Greg to little Ben.
Yeah.
Like I read that last night to him. I like this one. I think that's my favorite.
That is good.
I might do a profile pic change for a little bit to that one.
Yeah.
Josh, if you're watching, of course, great work. Can you send me this? Oh, I guess I have the PDF still somewhere.
Yeah.
The unfinished proofs. Actually, just send me this image, Josh. I'll get it up. Good question, Kebabs. Thank you. Mike Damim says, I believe in Tim Geddes to hit level 50. He did
appreciate
that.
you.
I believe
I
in
love
Tim
it.
Geddes.
I love it, man. We got to finish the story, Greg. Got to finish the story.
Then Nightlife became a member and super chatted and said, my girlfriend just found a candy corn Christmas tree. Yes, I said that right. We're going to put it up in October. Good. It's about
candy
time.
corn Christmas
It's
tree.
about time we got rid of these Christmas freaks and just made everything Halloween.
Yeah.
Shout out to Costco for already selling Halloween shit. It's been weeks now. They already got. I mean, it's like peanuts and Disney shit. So I was like, whatever. But it's like I appreciate the Halloween. This is already here.
Yeah.
Carlos says, Greg, would you get your favorite stratagem tattoo? No. Like, you know how much I love Helldivers, but I don't have that connection to Helldivers,
Yeah.
right? I still want to do the God of War Ragnarok grief quote maybe around the Porty tattoo. But even then, I can't figure out a way to make that look good around the
that's
tattoo.
always hard.
So it's like I'm not even anxious to do that. So I've thought before about maybe on this arm, the Peace Walker logo for Metal Gear Solid Peace
Sick
Walker.
logo.
Yeah, right. Yeah, good stuff. Yeah.
Tim, I've got one for you. L3, R3, accept the truth.
I mean, that's fucking good.
But here's the other thing.
Put it
Here's
on
the
your back,
kicker.
tramp
I want
stamp.
tramp stamp.
No,
Yeah.
no, here's the thing. Even better. Your nipples.
You're right. That's good. That is good. I do refer to them as L3 and R3.
CJ Splits on then has our final super chat and says, "Did you know Ted DiBiase wasn't really rich?" You know, I did know
thought
that.
about it, though.
Back when I was a kid, no, I didn't know
Yeah,
that. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Put me in the $1 Million Dream at IGN once.
Yeah.
I have photos of that. Good memories. Good
What a life
memories.
you've lived.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's another episode of Kinda Funny Games Daily in the bag. Don't worry, we're an 11-person small business all about live talk show, so we're not going anywhere. Of course, up next is going to be the Kinda Funny Games cast. Parris Lilly dialing in to talk about Concord with Andy, Mike, and Tim after a weekend of playing the beta and having a lot of fun with that one. I think he had fun. I saw you tweet he had fun. And then, of course, after that, we're going to do a reaction to Captain America's new trailer, which I have not seen.
I have seen on Twitter at Disneyland without sound. So I'm going to get my first
Fair enough.
actual experience with y'all.
Fair enough. Let's pull the car over. We're putting it into park so I can tell you this story. You'll appreciate this.
Mhm.
I'm at Blizzard. I'm like, wait, can I say this? Yeah, I tweeted. I'm at Blizzard doing a Diablo preview event, right? I'm out of the office for 2 days, but I'm at the event doing the thing. I get a Slack from Station 1,
Okay.
and it's a video. And I respond back, I'm like, is this actually for me? Like, or is this like a mistake and you meant Cool Greg? Because it was like a 2-minute long video. I'm like, is this a Cool Greg edit you needed? And Kevin responds from Station 1. He's like, no, Nick told me to send it to you. And so I start playing it at the Diablo preview and I hold it up and I'm like, you know what? I don't have my ear pods. I'll deal with this later. So I stop it. I put, leave a notification on because I hate having it, but I'm like, I'll get to this eventually. Of course, then it was Disneyland on Friday. It's a weekend with Jen and Ben. So I keep seeing this notification, but I'm like, I don't have time to commit to whatever was going on here. In the car today, I play it while I'm driving to work. And it's 2 minutes of them playing whatever fucking game they were playing. And then at the end, Nick just makes a joke about the peacock being the horniest of birds and then goes, clip that and send it to Greg. I'm like, fuck, he got me. That was a good delayed joke on that one. Of like, that really was like on my mind all weekend long.
Yeah.
For 4 days, I've been thinking about what the fuck is this video? Like maybe something happened. Maybe Nick had a question. No, the peacock's the horniest of birds.
Yeah. I mean, I appreciate that. We've known each other a long time and we know like just how much fucks me, you, and Nick can be. But I want to be honest. Like we all know that like I'm the least fuck out of the three of us.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Just like on Friday when I was about to meet up with you at Disneyland and Andrea and John Drake.
Sure, it's me. It's my son. His first time at Disney. We're over in Toontown. The Drakes are there. We're hanging out with their daughter. It's the first time Ben and her have met. They're playing. It's a lovely little familial setting.
So I'm about to meet them up. And eventually Greg texts me. He goes, I'm in Toontown with the Drakes. And I say, cool, coming to y'all now. And then he goes, yeah, we're in the Daisy food court with John. A couple minutes later, he texts, oh shit, just saw a sign that says no little bitches allowed. You better hang back, little bitch. And I said, I've missed you. And he goes, I want you to know this is the first free moment I've had all day. And this is what I did with it.
I had so many texts stacked up, so many people needing real things from me.
Like, no,
but
this is
Jen
what I'm
finally
doing.
was like, I'm going to take Ben off with their daughter to go play in the water over here. And I was like, fine. I looked at my phone. You let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been another episode of Kinda Funny Games Daily. We didn't get anything wrong according to kindafunny.com/you're wrong. So until next time, of course, on YouTube, get ready to click on the link for the Gamescast. Twitch, just keep hanging out. Like, subscribe, share, get the podcast wherever you can. Remember, the Porty book is limited. Go get it right now. Don't think you're having kids? I didn't either. Maybe you will. Buy the book and put it in the attic. All right, it's
Just in
super
case.
simple. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, it's been our pleasure to serve you. Oh, I forgot we do this now.